folks, it's Rich here, Crafty Gamer Clan. In this video, I just want to go through one of the many ways that I make a bit of passive gold on the side. I'm sure most people have heard of it already unless you've been living under a rock, but it is simply selling and relisting of transmog items. Obviously, you could potentially do this in the manual way, but what I'll be doing is using a pretty lazy and hopefully less time intensive method. Well, it is less time intensive, I can tell you that for nothing now. And I'll be using Trade Skill Master. Well, I say I will be. I have been using it for quite some time. It didn't play as big of a part that I would have hoped it would have during my last gold challenge, where I attempted to get the Dragonfly expansion for free and luckily managed it just a couple days shy of the actual expansion's release. But yeah, let's get pretty much straight into the whole process of it all after a little brief explanation. So once or twice a week, what you'll be doing is getting your alt, or if you really want to do this on your main, can't think of what you would, going on that character, emptying out all the items that are in your inbox, all of these transmog items that you're going to keep listed up on the auction house. One of the best tips that I've had on this is to, where possible, try and have your active listings up around the reset day and the weekends. But if you can only do one of these, I'd imagine it's easier to just relist once a week on either a Friday or a Saturday. So as you can see, you're going to want this character to have pretty empty bags, if not completely empty. And you want to have a little pocket of starter gold, not too much, especially when you're first starting out. Like literally, you could be talking 10 gold all the way up to a couple of hundred gold just to get started, and then whatever items that you pick up on your adventures out in the world, alongside any things that you think you can craft and that you identify as potentially quite profitable. What you do is you can open up the Trade Skill Master add-on. Obviously I've already got all my groups set up. So it's simply going to be a case of, if I just open my bag there so you can see, I'll run a post scan, and then what this is going to do, it's going to help me find the best price to list these items at. Once complete, it will let me know with a little notification bell. It can depend on if there's any delay between the server or if there's any whereas the more items, I suppose, would be the one of the main factors in the delays for the scan times and such. And you can also get a macro set up through here, which I'll show you the effects of that in a moment once the scan's finished, and it can pretty much almost automate the entire system. The add-on itself is pretty useful, can be used for a lot of process streamlining with things to do with the auction house, so crafting things, work out material prices based on the current prices there, which is downloaded through a desktop application and fed into this add-on in the game. So you can do a bit of sniping, if you know what that is, get you some quick deals on materials or items that you've selected for a group. Or it can just simply be used like I use it for buying and selling of materials or selling of crafted transmog gear. So I'm just going to go ahead now, hold down my control button, and start scrolling down my mouse, and then as you can see, I'm listing these items on the auction house. I've had to spend no time whatsoever thinking or making any decisions based on this beyond the initial calculations that I set. To find these prices, you can just use the default that comes with out of the box, but it depends on really how much you want to sell your items for. If you don't care, I imagine it'd still be a lot better downloading this add-on and using the default calculations there instead of just literally selling it for whatever the in-game auction house wants you to sell it for. You'll have people doing all kinds of trickery and baiting people into listing for too cheap so they can buy those items. I end up with one left over, or a couple left over, depending on how you've set your rules. So I've got a lot of these set to only list one item, so I'm just going to come along at the end there and go back to the default auction house. I can just go ahead and list that anyway if I want to. See here, all the auctions listed that I've done just now using the add-on. So it will take a good couple of trips for you to go to and from your mailbox and back to the auctioneer. When all is said and done, you should have a clean inbox, clean backpack. If you get to my auctions there, you'll be able to see if there's any sold auctions, how many you've currently got posted, and then the potential value if they were to all be sold at buyout, I believe, just there. So one of my intentions with all of this is to simply just build up a stock between crafting items that are potentially harder to get, go through dungeon runs, especially the older dungeons and older raids for those bind on equip items. It's mostly going to be, let's face it, for the luck, because not too many people are going to be playing with twin characters anymore, I wouldn't have thought. Very super straightforward process once you've gone past the initial setup. And what I've been doing is mostly holding on to items that are valued at 1,000 gold or more, with a few exceptions. And I'll just check back every couple of months, and if something is consistently dropping below that, like this one for example, this Gorian Mace of the Quick Blade, that might be something that I drop in a couple of weeks' time and either just straight vendor it or disenchant to get some materials out of it at least. A lot of these items you'll pick up, even if you're not a crafter, you'll pick up a lot of things just through regular play when you go through dungeons and such. Other than that, really, all I can really say other than that is I have had mixed levels of success with this side hustle in gold making. Gotta advise, it's definitely not a get rich quick scheme, because you will be consistently loading these back on relisting. You could relist as many times as you want effectively, and there's actually a built-in checker to see if you've been undercut. But I haven't got time for that, to be honest, and I don't think there's that too many people who would. But if you really wanted to, you could just sit on the auction house all day, rather than going out there and adventuring and just completely obliterate anyone who tries to undercut you by dropping the item back off the auction house and then relisting it immediately. I would say don't get disheartened if you're going to come through and have no sales. Just relist it up there. The only thing that's going to guarantee no sales is if you're not listing. Like I said, my aim is definitely to get about 1,000 items listed on here and try and go for about 10 million gold's worth of potential value. Obviously, this is just that, potential value. It's only worth what people are going to pay for it in terms of their hard-earned gold. Yeah, it can be one of the income streams that pushes you that last few thousand when you least expect it towards getting your next WoW token or that piece of gear for an upgrade for one of your characters or whatever it is that you like to spend your gold on. So definitely keep at it. It's definitely worth the investment, and just remember to keep a couple of 1,000 gold on your character that you're going to be doing this on at all times. So you've got the gold on there for your relisting fees. So that, hopefully that wasn't too much information influx in one go. Like I say, one of the couple of ways where I've been making my gold. It's not been making the most of my gold or even the majority by any stretch. I'd probably say I've maybe had anywhere between 1 and 5% of my gold come through this avenue, come through this gold making scheme, but it's definitely, in terms of the effort that you put in, there's definitely value there, and I would recommend it. Yeah, with that, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and whatever it is you're doing. Be safe, folks. Goodbye.